Hi, Leah Goujon here. I want to share with you guys the beginning of a new project. If you had followed any of the previous videos, you know that last year I built a house and moved into it a year ago, September. We are now December 2024, and I have to deal with the landscaping around the house. I have several issues, so I want to create a permaculture solution. Permaculture is simply a set of design principles that are created to mimic nature. So we have some water runoff issues, some dry issues, some animal issues, shade and sun. So I want to kind of go through with you guys my process and what I'm going to do to solve this problem and create a plan that's going to alleviate hopefully all of the issues that I have. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and give you a look at the property today. And permaculture obviously is a principle that takes many years, even decades. So it's not something that has instant gratification, which is why it really does need a very good plan, a plan that is long-term and a plan that is sustainable. So I'm going to share everything with you as we go through, but first let's look at the property. So this is the north side of the house, and right now it is shaded by this very large tree, but I'm thinking that all of these trees, every single one of them, will be coming down in the next 365 days. It is a piece of property that is beside mine. This is my wall here. And on the other side of that wall is a planned residential project. So I imagine that the trees are going to come down. So what that means is this beautiful shaded side of the house that I have right now will no longer be shaded because it is the north side of the house, or because it is the south side of the house, sorry. So that's something that I need to think about, is along this wall is creating trees and plants that will create a canopy and create shade for me. Right now we do have some banana plants, which they actually do create a lot of shade, so they're good to have, but they can get a little unwielding, so it's not something that I want to plant all along the entire wall. The other thing that I do have here is a small cherry tree. Now I've owned that tree. It was in a pot for probably 4 or 5 years, and it came out of the pot and went into the ground about a year ago. So it's grown quite a bit since it's been in the ground, but obviously still quite a few years away from being mature. So we'll just come down to the east side of the property. So it is a slight decline going down. This is looking back to the west side of the property, and it does go slightly up. So this is where I have the water runoff. Water literally comes from this corner right here, and it comes down here, and it runs literally down here. You can almost see the dirt that it's brought along. It's created a little river, and it runs down along the side of the house, in between the house and that tree, and then off into this green area here. The second place that it runs off is actually down this way. So I'll show you up top there in a second. So we have the water coming down here, and honestly I believe in working with nature and not fighting it, because fighting it, you're just not going to win. So I just need to divert this water. There's no way I'm going to stop it. I just need to divert it. So I need it to go in a place and in a fashion that I'm happy with. And I'm actually happy with where it ends up. You can see here, so the green is squash vine, which is why it's all green and healthy. And then this area just has been cleared lately and cut. So there is one little lemon tree here right in the middle, and then a couple more bananas along the wall. And most of the water literally runs into this low area. So, and it's never flooded. It's never created a lake. And we've had some pretty heavy waterfall or rainfall here. So I'm not worried about where it's ending up. I don't mind it ending up there. In fact, I would probably want to landscape around it in such a way that it can fill with water or be dry and not be creating a problem. What I have on the south side of the property is just a 16-foot space that is elevated by a retaining wall. So just going up here between the wall and the edge of the house. And that is all infill. So all of the soil quality up there is really quite bad. It's just a product here called caliche, which is kind of just a stone sediment type material. So not great for growing very much, although we'll go over there and you can see what is growing. So as I go back up to the west side of the property, and again walking up, so our other issue is animals. You can hear the roosters and the chickens. We do have a few that are loose, so hey, and we do have dogs. So if I have any kind of grass or any kind of greenery or plants, the chickens actually will eat it. So all of the chickens will need to be housed. Right now we do have several chickens housed over here, but we need to create obviously a larger pen. Needs to be sheltered. The other animal that we have here that needs a pen is a goat. So just a shelter somewhere he can hang out when it's raining or it's a little bit too sunny. And he also needs to be tied up because goats also eat everything. So you can see here in this little area, it's quite wet. And again, this is an area that is running down. So it's just kind of created a little bit of a runoff. And again, coming from this point here. And unfortunately, it runs off from here and then runs directly into the chicken hut and then runs out the other side of it. So it is draining. It doesn't create any kind of, pooling or ponding inside the chicken hut, but it is, flowing water through there. So it's not nice for the chickens, and it creates a very dirty floor and a very dirty place. So let's just go around to the other side. So this is the north side of the house. You can see now it's just full of junk, but it does actually go up slightly right here. So it does not, and all the water that's draining off from that corner and coming down this way actually bypasses this whole little area right here because it goes up slightly. So it's just going right off into, and you can see here, there's quite a bit of water still pooling because we had quite a bit of rain the last couple of days. So we don't want that. And then this little section back here, again, it's all infill. So right now it's quite rocky. And up here by the door, you can see this little section where I literally, it took me several goes at it, but just clearing all this larger rock. And as a result, we had a lot of mosses grow and a lot of ground cover has grown. Some beautiful ferns are coming up. A tomato all of a sudden showed up. So it's doing quite nicely. This is a wildflower that I actually see quite a bit of in the field next door. So I think seeds probably made its way over here. And again, just a few ferns and moss. Anything that's kind of invasive, or like this little plant right here I'll pull out eventually. But you can see all the ferns that are growing up in here. So this little area I think I'll probably just keep as a dry sort of desert fern area. I'll have to get these rocks cleaned out, and I always thought it would be nice to use this area because it's right off the kitchen as a kitchen garden. So it does get almost 100% shade, hence all the moss here on the ground. So not a great growing place. You can see here there's only sun probably the last maybe 24 inches, 18 inches, and we're just around lunchtime now, so it does not get a lot of sun. And eventually I think this lot on the other side will get developed and get built up. So these are things that I have to keep in mind when I'm looking at permaculture and I'm looking at a design that's going to last for, decades. I need to understand what's also around me and how it's going to affect my plan, and most importantly, privacy and shade would be the two biggest things that I would be thinking about when I think about future development. So these are the issues: the animals, the water flow, and sun and shade. So these are the things that I want to create a plan and try and solve. So I'm going to sit down and do a little bit of research. Permaculture is new to me, so it's something that I'm going to have to take a look at. I know, I think some berms and swales in here are going to help me redirect the water. What I probably will do, sorry, that was the dogs. What I'll probably do is create some sort of natural trench that goes along the fence line, maybe just slightly away from the block wall. But we'll see. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But anyway, these are the things that we're going to research. This is the stuff that we'll look forward to. And seriously, if you guys know anything about permaculture, help me out. Let me know. Have a great day.